Priya and Rohan were the picture of marital bliss, at least that's what it looked like from the outside. Their life together was a symphony of order and predictability. Every Friday, date night was observed with unwavering regularity, always at the same Italian restaurant downtown. They had their routines, their comfortable silences, their unspoken understandings. Their life was comfortable, safe, secure, yet, somewhere beneath the veneer of contentment, Priya felt a growing emptiness. The predictability that had once been a source of comfort had begun to feel like a gilded cage. She loved Rohan, she truly did, but the spark, the excitement, the passion, it had all dimmed with the passing years, leaving behind a relationship that felt more like friendship than a burning love affair. Priya often found herself daydreaming, longing for something more, something she couldn't quite articulate. She wanted to feel alive, to feel her pulse quicken, to feel that rush of excitement that came with the unknown. She yearned for a spark to ignite the embers of her heart, a spark she feared had long since extinguished in the comfortable routines of her marriage. Little did she know, that spark was about to arrive in the most unexpected form. Arjun joined Priya's marketing firm straight out of university. He had a contagious energy, an easy smile, and a passion for his work that was impossible to ignore. Priya, with her years of experience and innate talent, was tasked with mentoring him. Arjun, eager to learn, absorbed her knowledge like a sponge. He was full of ideas, always willing to challenge the status quo, and brought a vibrancy to their team meetings that had long been missing. Priya found herself drawn to his enthusiasm. He reminded her of a younger Rohan, back when their own conversations crackled with energy and their dreams knew no bounds. Working late nights on projects, sharing coffee breaks, and brainstorming ideas, Priya felt a connection with Arjun that went beyond the professional. He listened to her ideas, valued her opinions, and made her laugh, truly laugh, for the first time in what felt like forever. As the days turned into weeks, Priya found herself looking forward to going to work, to seeing Arjun. She enjoyed their conversations, their shared laughter, the way he seemed to understand her, to see a side of her that had been dormant for far too long. She told herself it was harmless, that she was just being friendly, that the spark she felt was simply the excitement of mentoring a talented newcomer. But deep down, a tiny voice whispered a dangerous truth. She was beginning to develop feelings for Arjun. The realization hit Priya like a tidal wave. What started as an innocent connection had blossomed into something more profound, something that frightened and exhilarated her in equal measure. She found herself thinking about Arjun constantly, replaying their conversations in her head, cherishing the moments they shared. His presence filled her with a nervous energy she hadn't felt in years. Guilt gnawed at her conscience. Rohan was a good man, kind, dependable, loving. He didn't deserve this betrayal of her heart, even if it was just in her thoughts. Yet, she couldn't deny the feelings welling up inside her, the longing glances across the boardroom table, the stolen moments by the coffee machine that sent shivers down her spine. The life she had built with Rohan, the life that had seemed so perfect, now felt suffocating. The predictability that had been a source of comfort, now felt like a burden. The silence between them, once comfortable, now echoed with unspoken truths. Priya was torn between the comfort of the familiar and the allure of the unknown, between her sense of duty and the yearning of her heart. Unbeknownst to Priya, Rohan was not oblivious to the shift in her demeanor. He noticed the way her eyes lit up at the mention of Arjun's name, the extra time she spent getting ready for work, the distant look in her eyes during their once comforting silences. He saw the way she laughed at Arjun's jokes, a laugh he hadn't heard directed at him in far too long. Doubt crept into Rohan's heart, casting a shadow over their once unshakable bond. He trusted Priya, he loved her, but the subtle changes in her behavior were impossible to ignore. He tried to reason with himself, telling himself he was being paranoid, that it was all in his head. But deep down, a growing unease gnawed at him, a fear he couldn't quite articulate. He started noticing the late nights Priya was working, the unanswered texts, the canceled date nights due to urgent deadlines. He overheard snippets of her phone conversations, her voice animated and full of life in a way he hadn't heard in years. The more he observed, the more his fear solidified into a heartbreaking certainty. Something was amiss and it threatened to shatter their world.